Hey, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Superpower Review. It's been a while, and I missed you, and I hope you missed me as much as I missed you. And I want to thank today my live studio audience, Don and Thomas Cordero. Woo! They're huge fans of the show, and I want to thank them for coming on today and just watching and nerding out with me. Thank you so much. Today's episode is going to be all about Boston Comic Con. I went to Boston Comic Con on Sunday, and man, lots of nerding out going on there. It was chaotic. I went with a friend. As soon as you walk through the doors, it was straight up chaos. Chaos everywhere. People cosplaying and comics galore. So I'm going to be talking about Comic-Con, and I'm going to be showing you all of my purchases today, which is pretty hefty, but we'll get there. So there's a couple stills I want to show. The first still I want to show is a glorious comic, a beautiful copy of Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. This booth was cool enough to let me take pictures with such a glorious comic. It was graded at 9.0. It's almost completely rare to find one of these. So this is the level of nerding out that happened at Boston Comic Con on Sunday. So this is Hulk 181. This is the first appearance of Wolverine, and it's graded at a 9.0. If anybody wants to take a guess, does my live studio audience want to take a guess on how much money that comic costs? Go ahead.
It's over $100.
$100?
I would say about $5,000.
You're close. $3,000. They were asking $3,000 for that comic. $3,000. That's a hefty price. If I had an extra $3,000, I don't think I still would do it. Even though it's such a highly wanted comic. So this guy was really cool enough to let me take pictures with that comic because not a lot of people had that there. And I said, dude, could I take a picture with this? And he said, absolutely, which I was shocked. He said, you just have to be super, super careful. And even when I thought that was exciting, he upped the bar a little bit, and he said, if you really want a cool picture to show on your social media, why don't you take a picture with this? And he shot me, he handed me an Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spiderman.
Oh, wow.
It's graded at a 0.5, not even a point. And you can see in that photo and how damaged that comic is, and that comic has seen some rough times. It's signed by Stan Lee. Of course, it's the first appearance of Spider-Man. Anybody want to take a guess on how much that comic goes for?
$10,000?
You're close again. $7,000 they were asking. Yikes. Yikes. So that was the level of nerding out at Boston Comic Con. Boston Comic Con was absolutely humongous. At the end of the day, my dogs were barking. Okay, after seeing everything, it took us a little over 2 hours to see everything at the convention center. That's how big it is. It is at least double the size of Rhode Island Comic Con. It was huge. Lots of vendors. This is the most comic book vendors I've ever seen at a con. I mean, after all, it is a Comic Con. And you get some different vendors as well, as printing cell phone cases, your favorite comic book character on a cell phone case, which was pretty cool. Leather shops for cosplays, and all sorts of other really cool nerdy things. It was a fantastic time, but as I said, it was a long walk. Lots of artists. If you're into the whole artwork thing, if you like to meet and greet artists, your favorite comic book artists, they had an abundance of those, and there were a bunch of them. So let's get into purchases now. For the first time at a con, I actually went ham on some comic book art, and I normally just buy comic books there, and so I bought some art. If you see the artwork and if you comment who's the artist, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. My brain was fried after the end of the day, and I couldn't remember a damn thing. It's a good thing I didn't drive, because if I drove, I don't think I would know how to get home. So I'm going to show off this first piece of artwork. This was a cool find. This is a piece of Venom artwork. The artist did have a color version of it, and I thought it was really cool. But you know what? I actually liked the black and white version a whole lot better. I thought this was really cool. The artist gave me a great deal on it. He told me $10 because original prints were $20 with color. Great find. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I think I need that. And my friend that went with me to the con actually bought some really cool Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle art from this gentleman as well. So it was pretty much the same thing, black and white like this, but the turtles' masks were in color, so just to give it a little more pop. So I thought that was really cool. Another nice piece of artwork right here. Again, I went crazy on Venom artwork. I mean, because this is one of my favorite all-time comic book characters and villains is Venom. I love that black suit. This one was really different. This artist, a lot of the artists were really great. They're just so laid back, chillax, and they would just want you to, even if you don't buy their artwork, they just want you to go up, have a conversation with you, and just say, and get a compliment from you, like, hey man, that's a really great piece. And even though if you ran out of money at the end of the day at Comic-Con, I'm sure they'll take the compliment. This next piece I'm going to show you is actually one of my favorites. Spoiler alert, yes, it's more Venom artwork, but this one is actually my favorite. This one is crazy looking. This artist was very talented. I can't remember her name. But she actually, I don't know the name of the technique of art it is, but pretty much that the portrait is all black, and this person takes a metal pen and they scratch away at the surface of the black to reveal the white. So I absolutely love this piece. This piece is just absolutely amazing. And when I went to her booth, she was actually working on this on the spot, and I said, I need that. I am taking that when you are done, because I need this in my life. So this is my favorite piece of artwork that I picked up that day, hands down. Love the black and white. There's no color to it, and I just can't believe the amount of texture you can see in this picture just by someone taking a metal pen and scratching away at it. Absolutely fantastic. So these were my the pieces of art I bought at Boston Comic Con. Again, an abundance of artists. We had Rob Liefeld there, who was the creator of Deadpool. We had inkers for Batman. Abundance of inkers. Joe Robenstein was there, who did some early time Wolverine stuff. And one of my favorites was Mike Zeck. I got to meet Mike Zeck for the second time. I met Mike Zeck at the first at Rhode Island Comic Con. That was my first time meeting him, and here he is right there in this photo. This man is such a sweetheart. He really is. He's such a really nice guy. I went up there, thanked him for coming, coming local, and hey, glad to see you again. I have lots of comics signed by this man, so I didn't feel like I needed to get anything else comic-wise signed, but he had posters there. So I totally ended up buying one of his posters, had him sign it. Hey, why not? This is my favorite one of my favorite comic book covers, as you all know on YouTube. Secret Wars number 8, the first appearance of Black Suited Spidey, is absolutely my favorite and favorite costume, so I absolutely love this. So I had to get one of these because, hey, why not? I don't know when I'm going to see this guy again. I probably won't see this guy again. I was lucky enough to see him again twice. So went up there, said, hey, would you mind if I take a photo with you with the poster? And he said, of course not. So he's just such a really cool, chill out guy. He loves to talk about his artwork. And when I went up to him right before he was signing, he was doing this really cool piece for somebody, because as we all know on these Comic Cons, that if you meet an artist and if they have time, they'll actually do a sketch for you. And he was working on a really, really cool Wolverine sketch for somebody. I don't know who it was for, but just to see him work on it was absolutely amazing. So I had to buy this poster, and the second reason why I really needed to buy this poster is because when I first met him at Rhode Island Comic Con, I ended up buying my brother this poster at Rhode Island Comic Con, signed by the artist, and my dummy of a brother lost it at the con. And I wanted to smack him, be like, "You dummy! What are you thinking?" So this one's not for him. I'm keeping this one. So that was pretty much all of the posters and artwork I got. I actually could have spent a lot more money on artwork, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't have a lot of room to put these things, but these are going to be placed in the background of the set, and that's what they will stay. So lots of great art finds, and now we're going to go into the comic book finds, which was obviously why I go to Comic-Con. Obviously, you guys have other reasons why you go to Comic-Con. I go there for the comics. Some go for cosplay and video games. We all have our, Thomas with his hands up here. Video games, yeah! So let's get to the comics, shall we? So obviously we go ham on comics too when we go to Comic-Con, and we get really excited. Man, comic book booths up the wazoo there, and again, the most comic book booths I have seen at a con. So I don't remember what order I have these in, so this is going to be a surprise for the both of us. So let's see, what's up first? First up is an Amazing Spider-Man number 700. This cover is really cool because, as you can see, it's like a collage of all different Spider-Man artwork from various artists. And the lens of his eye, the black part is all Black Suit Spidey and Venom, and the white is just a bunch of different heroes. I had to get this one because this one has been on the checklist for quite some time. Number one, because the cover is really cool, and this is the death of Peter Parker. This is when Spider-Man dies, and Dr. Octopus takes the reins of Spider-Man. So I had to get this one. And of course, my favorite thing too about going to Comic-Con is haggling. I love to haggle. When people want a unrealistic price for a comic, I have to slap them down and say, "No, this is how much I'm paying for this comic. You are not going to get this comic for." So this is a range of a $30 comic. When you go on a con on a Sunday, those comic book booths want to make their money, and they're a little scared. And plus, they don't want to pack everything. So if you shoot them an offer, they're going to take it. So this was a good $20 find. What's up next? Bam! Infinity Gauntlet number 1. Another one that I've been looking to get off the list. So this is the Infinity Gauntlet number 1. I think this was a good book to pick up because now of all the hype on about the Infinity Wars movie that's coming up. So I had to get this one. Another great $20 find, and this, the person was asking, way too much than what it should. Both books that I've shown you so far are near mint condition. Really great condition. This one has some yellowing on the corner of the white here. No big deal. I can live with it. And I just want to give a really quick shout out to the person because most of these books I bought from were all on the same booth, and his name, he goes by the Instagram name Jam Comics, and I really want to give a shout out to him because he was super friendly, super nice, and I didn't even know that it was him at first until he posted a picture of his booth later on that day. Said, "Hey man, that was you? Like, I was that last guy. I was the one that was buying everything from you." This was actually not from his booth, though, but everything else I'm going to show you was. This was another one, again, that I wanted to check off the list. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 238, the first appearance of Hobgoblin. A lot of people are always trying to find this book. And the hardest thing about this book, too, is if you see on the right corner here, it says it comes with free tattoos. So a lot of times you can buy these books and they're there's a torn page out of the book because that's where those tattoos were. And if it has those tattoos that you're not going to use, then yeah, it brings up the price and value of the book. So since this one has the tattoos, this book could go for $100. I got it at a really good deal. I got it for $70, and you would find this book for $70 without the tattoos. Next, bam! As you all know out there, Instagram, that I love Todd McFarlane. I'm a huge Todd McFarlane fan, so this is some of his early years in his career. He did Detective Comics, and he did a couple of Batman as well. I was not actually looking for these books. These books were at a really good deal. They were at $5 a piece, which is a really good find. And again, they're really in great condition, clean corners, still nice color to them. So I had to get them. So here's another one here. I believe the one I just showed you was part 2, yes. And this is part 3. So this is Batman Year 2, and when Batman first originally started being Batman, we all knew that Batman used guns. We tried to forget about it because we know that's not part of him anymore. But you can see a smoking gun here. So I had to get these. These were really cool, and as you all know, I really love comic books with a orange or red background. Here's another great one. This is, I believe, part 4. Yes, so this is a 4-part comic book series. Unfortunately, the booth did not have a number 1. I wish he did, because if he did, then I would have the complete set. But oh well, that's okay. So really good, great covers by my favorite artist, Todd McFarlane, who I absolutely love. I can't wait to read these, and I hope this is going to be a good story. And if they're not, I'm going to keep them anyways because they're Todd McFarlane's. All right, last raw book that I have, and then we're going to get into my final buy and my more serious buy of the Comic-Con, but I'm going to save that one for last. So this one here, oh yes, another great Todd McFarlane cover. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 316, and this is the first time Venom ever appears on an Amazing Spider-Man cover. I have 2 more of these. I had to get this one because this one is as you can see on the corner, it is a direct edition, so we get this little extra picture of Venom. I don't have that one, so the 2 I have at home are newsstand editions. They have barcodes on the corner of them, so I had to get that extra one with the Venom on it. I absolutely love this cover. Again, another amazing Todd McFarlane cover, so I had to get it. And again, it was at a great price. Ever since the Venom movie news has come out and hit media, anything with Venom in it or these key books have jumped up in price, skyrocketed, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Ever since the Venom movie news, a good condition comic as such as Amazing Spider-Man number 316 is now going up for at least $45, $50 near mint, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a great comic, it's a great story, but I don't really feel like it's worth that much. Before the movie, these comics were going for at least $20, $25, and that's how much I got it for. So shout out to Jam Comics. So the last and final buy. I know Thomas is excited. He's shaking his hands. Ooh. And I know he's going to be really excited about this because he loves this comic as much as I do. And we also got a glimpse of it. And that would have to be... Oh, look at him. Get his reaction. Get his reaction. Look how excited he is right now. Yeah, he's like, oh. This is, again, as you saw on the poster, this is a Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 8, which is the first appearance of the black suited Spider-Man. He has donned the black suit, and we find out later in the story that that suit is an alien symbiote. I absolutely love this comic. As you guys know, if you ever watched the top 6 favorite Marvel comic book covers. This was my number 3, and you all know that I love this suit. And I've been looking for a 9.8 for a very, very long time. And again, as I just said before, anything black suit or with Venom in it is gone skyrocketed since the Venom movie news. So you can find a 9.8, which is near mint condition or in mint condition, for going for $200 or higher now. I got this one at a steal. I could not refuse. It was the only one at a 9.8 at Boston Comic Con, so I had to buy it. So as you all know, I do not really get rid of any of my key books. I do not sell any of my key books, so this one's going to stay in the collection until I show my kids and until I show my grandkids. So absolutely love this book. I'm so excited to have this book in my possession at the grade. I'm not going to share to you how many copies I have of this book because it is ridiculous. And yes, it is an obsession and addiction, but you know what? We all have those obsessions and addictions, and I'm nowhere near as any of you that are on Instagram. So this was a great find. Great experience at Boston Comic Con. If you did not get to go this year, I highly advise that you go next year because it is a great time, great people, great finds. My friend who went with me actually found a lot of great things. He loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he found a lot of memorabilia. So we walked away from Boston Comic Con very happy and like 2 little kids who had some money to drop. So before we close out, I just have to get some of this. Yeah, I have to get them together. Aren't they so beautiful? Look, Thomas over here is drooling over here. He's like, yes, I love that black suit. That black suit. Every time he comes into the studio at TV9, where we are right now, every time he comes in TV9, he goes, so when are you gonna give me a copy of that book? When are you gonna give me a copy of that book? I'd be like, never. Well, kid, you're going to have to wait as long as I did to get one. So great times at Boston Comic Con. I want to thank all of the artists who went there, all the vendors who contribute to the nerding out at these cons. It was a great time, and I couldn't expect any more. These were definitely the 2 goals of Boston Comic Con. These were the thing. This was the reason why I went. I was planning on going to see Stan Lee, but unfortunately that line was crazy. I would have had waited all day, okay, and plus it's $120 for a signature, which I don't need because I have 2 comics signed by Stan. And it was also $120 just for a photo, which I think is absolutely insane. So I went back to the planning board, and I really thought about it real hard, and I thought about just, hey, why don't I save the $120, buy some comics that I'm going to really enjoy instead of taking a picture with Stan. So I did not do that. And for everybody who's been posting pictures with Stan, kudos to you for waiting all day. I only had 1 day. Some of you bought three-day tickets. So, which is, if you really think about it, this was probably my last chance to actually go see Stan Lee, but I didn't go see him. I don't have any regrets. Like I said, I already have 2 comics signed by him, and I'm really happy with that. So, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you liked this video and if you liked anything that you saw, please like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be a potential guest to the show, you can email the show at superpowerreview9@gmail.com. And if you went to Boston Comic Con, show me the things that you got. And if you have some show ideas, let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon.